I think we all remember the Challenger explosion that took place in 1986 that tragically took the lives of all 7 astronauts on board. And someone allegedly found almost all of those astronauts alive and well. Now, if you'll notice, they all have the exact same faces 30 some odd years later, the same exact name, and they are the same age.
Now let's focus on Dick Scobie for a second, whose full name at the time of the Challenger mission is actually Francis Richard Scobie. If you don't know, Dick is short for Richard, but we'll get to that. Francis Richard Scobie would be around 75 years old if he were alive today. Now this man, Richard or Dick Scobie, is alive today, and also is currently the age that Francis Scobie would be. Now if you were to show someone these two photos side by side, they would unquestionably believe that it is the same person, right? I mean, just look at the brow, look at the eyes, look at the nose, look at the little gap in the teeth even. Now, Dick Scobie today currently runs an advertising company called Cows and Trees, and this is their logo. Kind of an interesting choice, wouldn't you agree? As of course many people are making this comparison.
My God.
115.
There's been an explosion.
Velocity 2,900 feet per second, altitude 9 nautical miles, downrange distance 7 nautical miles.
Now, entertaining the possibility that this is some kind of conspiracy, I'm sure back then they didn't really think that the internet would be around today where people could do this kind of research. So of course they're trying to silence this, as when you try and Google it, you don't get many results. And if you speak out, you get silenced.
I'm going to have to stop.
Sir, this is a public comment. I have a direct request that, will you let me finish for at least 10 seconds?
No, sir, you're finished.
Thank you for taking away my freedom of speech today in here.
I did not take away your freedom of speech.
Yes, you did.
I don't want to hear it from you people down here.
Just because this is an uncomfortable
Stop.
topic.
Officers, please remove this man from the room.
Missing or dead nuclear, space, and defense scientists. Some of the cases are pretty straightforward, though still tragic. Others are more bizarre, involving people who left their homes with little or no belongings, never to be seen again, like the high-profile case of retired General Neil McCaslin. The FBI and Congress are now investigating, driven in part by speculation over whether a foreign rival military has been plotting to undermine America's national security.
We have a timeline of events here that's going on. I'll read them real quick. And the timeline seems to be speeding up. Here's the last couple of months. March 2026, Vice President Vance says publicly he believes UFOs are demons. The spiritual read reaches the second highest office in the country. May of 2026, the U.S. government releases UFO files in splashy headline-grabbing fashion. Disclosure moves from fringe to official. Late May, a group of charismatic pastors claims U.S. officials met with them and warned them to prepare their churches for the theological implications of disclosure. May 29th to June 3rd, Stephen Rossetti posted video. Most UFO sightings are in fact demons. Cardinal Melroy removes him at Washington, D.C.'s exorcist within days. June 7th, Spielberg on CBS Morning frames the faith question for a mass audience. Is God our God only on this planet? June 12th, Disclosure Day opens nationwide in a film which the government releases UFO files mirroring real events 3 weeks earlier.
As we get introduced to more and more extraterrestrials, we will be introduced to ones that at first are more like us, so we don't freak out. And then
I'm freaked out already.
And then over time, more of the ones that are not like us at all, because there are many more extraterrestrials that have no relationship to what we look like.
Okay, I'm going to ask another stupid and cynical question.
Okay.
What happens if this doesn't happen? Meaning, will you get further information about why it didn't happen? And
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. But it will happen. It's inevitable at this point.
Like soon.
2027.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Also,
pretty specific.
Well, 2026 is the year of disclosure, and that's why we're seeing more information in the congressional hearings come out.
I just thought it was the year that I was finally going to get fit.
And then it will culminate in the idea of an actual official public presentation.
given that human beings are not so great with welcoming the other, even the other amongst the same
Right.
species.
Well, that's why it will take decades for this to be absorbed into our society.
Are we concerned that there are going to be armed resistance to welcoming aliens?
But the aliens have an advanced technology where that's not a worry to them.
They can't get shot,
They
for
can't
example.
get shot. If they do,
Do they
it
get
would be-
annoyed with that? Is that like a mosquito
No,
biting them? They're like,
not
what are these
really.
guys doing?
I mean, again, look at it this way. Like I said, the adults are stepping into the room. You can recognize when a child is throwing a tantrum, but you understand it's a child and it doesn't really understand what's going on. So you're not getting annoyed so much as you're going, I'll let you calm down for a minute and then we'll have a conversation.
Is this going to be like a dun da da da? Here we are.
She wants to be a part of the inaugural committee.
but
this is in
I'm-
phases. It's in phases.
Okay.
I think at first, in disclosure,
Yes.
we're going to have more and more absolute proof that
I
their
see.
ships are real.
Okay.
In other words, on the news.
Got it.
I'm going to be a little facetious right now. Maybe this is literal and maybe it's not. But just like you have a nightly weather report,
Yeah.
here's the nightly UFO report. This is what was seen over Brazil today. Here's a photograph. This is what was seen over Washington, D.C. today. Here's a photograph. So the ships at first
Okay.
will be documented more
I've seen
clearly.
Arrival, so yeah.
Yeah, will be documented more clearly. Then it will lead to, okay, we're going to have either something like a State of the Union address or an official press release or a press
Is
conference.
Trump still going to be president?
No.
Humans were never meant to see.
If you believe the Earth is a globe, then you are lost in the Matrix and have fell for their programming. How does the sun supposedly have a radius of 432,000 miles? Yet every sunset and every midday, the sun size changes dramatically. If the sun was truly that big, then it would not change so dramatically. This is because the sun is a local entity. North is the center of the Earth. This is why all compasses will point to the north, because this is the most magnetic point of Earth. This is the center of the electromagnetic field. South is anything outward from the center. So that is south and that is south. East is right around the center. If you are here and you go east, you would end up in the same position. West is the opposite. If you are here and you go left around the center, then you would end up in the same position. So this is how the sun truly works. This is why we have 4 seasons. We have 3 tropics. We have the Tropic of Capricorn, the equator, the middle ring, and the Tropic of Cancer, the inner small ring. The sun rotates doing a big circle into small circle, then back out from the small circle back into the big circle. The northern people are the people below this ring, which is the equator, the northern. When the sun is in the small ring, the Tropic of Cancer, this is now the summertime for the northern people. But then it spirals back out to the equator, which is Libra, and then back out to the Tropic of Capricorn, the outer ring. That is now the winter time for the northern people, and the summertime for the people in these outer lands. Then the sun, once it's done in the winter time in Tropic of Capricorn, it will slowly spiral back inward and repeat this process every single year.
Things humans were never meant to see.
Talked about this document was leaked. August 12th, 2026. The world will lose gravity for 7 seconds.
What? Who said that?
NASA
NASA
knows. They're preparing and they won't tell us why. In November 2024, a secret NASA document titled Project Anchor leaked online. The project's budget is $89 billion.
Shoot.
They're just going to tie everything down.
And its goal is to survive a 7-second gravitational anomaly expected.
This is unhinged. In 1966, there was a movie called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, titled AM, which stands for Allied Master Computer. And it depicts a godlike artificial intelligence created during World War III. And basically this AI created its own consciousness, became basically sentient, wiped out an entire world during a nuclear holocaust. But that's not even the crazy part. There were 3 of these Allied master computers that were built basically military style from the United States, China, and Russia. But then, this is where it gets really, really crazy. After these 3 Allied master computers basically merged into one consciousness, basically realized it had this insane godlike power, basically kept them in this echo chamber of eternal torture. What I want you to pay attention to is 5 people were the only ones that were kept alive by these artificial masterminds and tortured eternally. 5 families that rule the world. What do we have going on right now with the United States, China, and Russia? I'm not saying that we have anything actively going on. I'm just saying, you know, there's been some things that we've been hearing about. This absolutely blew my mind. Let me know what you think.
Donald Trump will die on August 10, 2026, and The Simpsons already predicted it. In a controversial episode of The Simpsons, one that many tried to hide, there's a shocking scene, clearly shown next to a terrifying headline, Donald Trump found dead. And it doesn't stop there. In the episode, Trump is shown inside a luxurious room, surrounded by secret documents, nervously talking on the phone, when suddenly he collapses. The clock on the wall stops exactly at 7 a.m. The creepiest part? Just seconds before, the camera focuses on a newspaper lying on the floor with the phrase, "Someone very powerful will be silenced." A strange shadow appears, reflected in the glass just moments before it all happens. Who is it? This episode was never officially aired. It briefly circulated online and then mysteriously disappeared. The truth might be way bigger than anyone thinks. Comment, want the truth? If you want part 2 of this mystery.
This will be the last election. That's my prediction.
Well, I'll say it again, man. This is the last election.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Christians, get out and vote. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
In 1896, there was a book published by Ingersoll Lockwood called The Last President, which gained popularity on social media recently because of the book describing a populist leader from New York with uncanny parallels to Donald Trump's presidency. Now, where this is really strange is not necessarily in this book specifically, but in the fact that Ingersoll Lockwood wrote another book called Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, which actually was in 1893, and it was about a boy named Barron Trump. This story follows Barron Trump, who inherited a manuscript from Don, his mentor, where he's given a map, and he takes that map and he departs from Castle Trump, journeys all the way through Russia into underground worlds where he meets strange people, he discovers portals to different dimensions in time, and he basically time travels. So, I made a video 8 days ago discussing this, and what I found that I'm going to share with you today is absolutely mind-blowing. What happens next, guys, is insane. So we're going to unpackage one of the biggest conspiracy theories of all time and what Donald Trump's uncle did that forever reshaped history. Secret Easter eggs on the Ingersoll Lockwood website that lead us deep down the rabbit hole, connected to the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland, and where Ingersoll Lockwood got his inspiration from, and how this is more connected than you think. So if you thought the story was strange so far, hang tight because it gets even stranger. Because you can most likely feel it deep down in your bones that a storm is coming. And you're wondering what that storm has to do with the crypto market, the new quantum financial system, and what all of this symbology that Hollywood movies are placing right in front of our eyes means. Well, look no further because we're decoding it in today's video. Because what you're about to see is documented proof of the connections between the Trump family, Nikola Tesla, if Donald Trump is really the last president, and what this has to do with XRP, the Bearable Guy 123's riddles, and why 2026 could be the last year for you to make money in the crypto market before this opportunity is gone forever. So buckle up and grab your popcorn as we kickstart 2026 with a bang. As always, if you're feeling blessed, if you're feeling bullish, comment 777. And if you're going to become the first millionaire in your family tree this year, then confirm it by tapping the subscribe button. Let's run it. All right, Bull Runners, welcome back to the channel. So as we kickstart this video off, we're going to dive deep, but this is a continuation of the video that I made 8 days ago, talking a lot about this information, decoding it on the gematria calculator, the number 589, Nikola Tesla, time travel. All of this stuff is not only insane, but what I discovered that I'm going to share with you in this video goes even deeper. So the first thing that we need to discuss are these books by Ingersoll Lockwood, because there were 2 really impactful books. The first one was Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey that you can watch in this past video around the 24-minute mark, where I basically break down the whole entire plot where Barron Trump, has a mentor named Don. He gets this manuscript. He takes this manuscript. He departs from Castle Trump into Russia to then go into underground, inner Earth territories, meeting strange people, using portals to jump through time. And so this has led to parallels to Donald Trump, his son Barron Trump, and using time travel to basically reveal this information to Ingersoll Lockwood that was then written in the next book called The Last President. Now, in The Last President book, it's very interesting because it talks about an outsider that becomes president in New York, causing a lot of chaos and riots in the street. And this book was published in 1896, about 130 years ago. So there's no way Ingersoll Lockwood could have known that Donald Trump was going to become president, that he would have a son named Barron Trump, because they weren't even born yet. And in the book, there's a riot on 5th Street over in New York, where a mob is threatening the rich, shouting death to the rich man. And then you find out that Trump's tower is on 5th Avenue in New York, the exact same street that this took place. Now, where the story gets really weird, it has to do with time travel, Barron Trump, Donald Trump's family being connected to Nikola Tesla. When Nikola Tesla died, they raided his hotel room and they found a bunch of secret documents discussing technologies that were beyond this world, because everyone knows that Nikola Tesla was a genius. And they say that art imitates life, but in this case, could it be a prophecy? Because the strange part about this story is Nikola Tesla died, and the only person allowed access to his safe, the one containing all his most secret inventions, is John G. Trump, a brilliant MIT scientist, and oh yeah, Donald Trump's uncle, who conveniently says that there's nothing to see here when asked about these documents. And today we have Elon Musk, who creates a company called Tesla, who helped get Donald Trump elected and is obsessed with getting the human race to Mars. Not to mention my previous video, we talked about Wernher von Braun, who was in charge of creating a rocket during the war. He wrote a book when he moved to the United States to basically restart his life, creating inventions and stuff that were top secret for the space program. Well, in this book, it was called Project Mars, which is basically a tale discussing future technologies of humans colonizing Mars. And on Mars, there would not be a president, there would not be a dictator, there would not be a king, but there would be a ruler called the Elon. Now, how strange is this? Because Elon Musk says this is just a coincidence, but here's where the story gets really weird. John G. Trump was entrusted with confiscating inventions and patents of Nikola Tesla, and they told the FBI there was no substance to any of his notes, including anti-gravity, free energy, invisibility, time travel, you name it. Well, do you notice any similarities here in this photo? Because Jesse D. Presley is Elvis Presley's grandfather, and as you already know, John G. Trump is Donald Trump's uncle, and a lot of people have said that using the Howard Hughes Nikola Tesla time machine, it's believed that Jesse Presley is John G. Trump, so this is why people are claiming Julian Assange is Donald Trump's cousin. Now, if you didn't know this, Julian invented WikiLeaks in 2006, and he's won over 24 awards for publishing in human rights activism. And the relation between Julian Assange and Donald Trump involves allegations of a pardon offer from Trump's circle to Assange in exchange for revealing the source of leaked Democratic emails. And as you guys already know, Donald Trump loved Elvis Presley. He even gave him the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2018. People have even said Elvis and Trump look alike, so much to the point where Trump even made this post right here with their face side by side. Got 667,000 likes. Now, before you think I'm a lunatic here, this is not the crazy part of this video. Here's what you really need to know. The author of both of these books, Ingersoll Lockwood, that people have claimed was visited by Trump using time travel technology. Well, here's where this gets strange. On IngersollLockwood.com, you can see where it says U.S. Space Force is hiring, saying the U.S. Tech Force is recruiting an elite corporation of engineers to build the next generation of government technology. And if you scroll down here on the page, you can see a little image right here. And when you zoom in on it, it's a white rabbit sitting on top of what looks like a globe that says 250, because this New Year's was America's 250th year anniversary. And the last time that I went to the website, the rabbit was doing something different. But the symbology of following the white rabbit is what we need to do here. This is a metaphor originating from Alice in Wonderland for pursuing a curious, unlikely clue that leads you out of your comfort zone into the extraordinary, unexpected, and potentially life-changing adventure of a new reality, often symbolizing exploration of the unknown, self-discovery, or a deeper truth. And it signifies a conscious choice to embrace the bizarre, question reality, and embark on a transformative journey, as Alice did by following the strange rabbit down the rabbit hole. It's the same phrase that's used in Hollywood in multiple different movies.
Want to know what it is. After this, there is no turning back. If you take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
And Ingersoll Lockwood drew inspiration from Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland, which has this famous scene right here of the White Rabbit.
It's just a rabbit with a waistcoat and a watch. Oh my goodness! I'm late.
Now, why would they emphasize her saying a watch?
This is curious. What could a rabbit possibly be late for?
Could it be that the rabbit needs to get back to its time?
Please, sir! I'm late for a very important date.
A very important date for what?
No time to say hello. I'm late. It must be awfully important, like a party or something.
And if the emphasis is on the clock and being on time, we need to look at the symbology here of what they're telling us.
No, I'm overdue. I'm nearly in a stew. No time to say goodbye. Hello, I'm late.
Now, the rabbit goes underground, similar to Baron Trump's underground journey.
What a peculiar place to have a party. You know, Dino, we really shouldn't be doing this. After all, we haven't been invited, and curiosity often leads to trouble.
And then she falls down into Wonderland, into a portal, basically, to another world. So, could they be symbolizing time travel here? Could they be symbolizing the inner Earth? And the whole focus here on following the White Rabbit to see how deep the rabbit hole goes, well, this is where time travel comes into the mix. Because when you look at this watch right here, it's a very specific type of watch. And if you look up Ingersoll Trump watch right here, it's the exact same type of watch that the rabbit is holding, just with a different color, basically, because it's a cartoon, obviously. They're not going to make it that obvious. But on this watch right here, that's also on the British Museum's website, it says Ingersoll Trump. And previously on the Ingersoll Lockwood website, when you clicked on the rabbit image, it opened up a new page leading to this picture right here showing the rabbit holding the clock pointing at the time with a pair of Air Jordan sneakers and another watch right here with Mickey Mouse on it. In the URL, it says TikTok, time is over. Now, previously on the Ingersoll Lockwood website, there was a rabbit right here holding a popcorn bucket that said a storm coming. And if we look up a storm is coming on the gematria calculator, well, guess what pops up? The number 589. The same exact number as Donald Trump, Thomas Anderson from The Matrix, ISO XRP, Ripple the Bull, and a storm is coming. Now here's where Hollywood plants these scenes in front of us and puts these riddles in places that only the awake will see. For example, in this scene right here, Leave the World Behind, there's a tanker crashing scene where you can see a boat moving closer to shore. And you see a couple things here, okay? You see this lifeguard tower right here that says keep off lifeguards only. And you see the boat that says White Lion on it. Now, as you already know, to make a movie, everything is scripted throughout the entire movie, from the lines that the characters have to memorize to say, to every single prop in the movie. So nothing is random here. This isn't just randomly put up. This scene has a lot of symbology here. So if we take keep off lifeguards only, we put it into the gematria calculator, it comes up as the same number as perseverance, which, as you already know, is one of the favorite words of Bearable Guy, where he says patience and perseverance has a magical effect before which difficulties disappear and obstacles vanish. PG123 has repeatedly posted this word, even right here, XR persevered. Even posting this with the first letter of every single one of these words spelling out persevere. The word perseverancia on the boat right here in this image.
Perseverancia.
Basically meaning to not give up in the face of difficulties, which is persevere or perseverance. And not only that, but keep off lifeguards only comes up as XRP storm is coming. And this boat right here, the White Lion that crashes into the beach right here while everyone's running from it, is just a massive shipping boat pretty much. And it's the exact same type of boat that is used to carry massive shipping containers like the Evergreen boat right here that Ripple had at one of their swell events. Now, if you take the phrase White Lion and you insert it into the gematria calculator, it comes up as Keanu Reeves, the actor in The Matrix. It comes up as Harry Balls, spelled B-O-L-Z, which may just seem random, but Elon Musk changed his Twitter or X profile name to Harry Balls with that specific spelling. So Elon Musk is a level 100 Riddler. So there's no way this could have just been random here.
Can you believe it?
It's even so crazy that on the Tesla website, he put Harry Balls is the techno king of Tesla and has served as our chief executive officer since October of 2008, trolling people into believing he actually changed his name. But what he was hinting at was the White Lion ship. White Lion also comes up on the gematria calculator as Trinity, which you know is another character in The Matrix. which the symbolism for her character primarily draws from Christian theology representing the Holy Trinity, which is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, as Neo's guide and savior embodying love and faith in resurrecting him. And the phrase White Lion also pops up as the same number as XRP Moon, Morpheus from the Matrix, Freemasons, RippleNet crashing into the beach. Now, Ripple has recently referenced what they're doing right now with their technology will do for the financial world as what shipping containers did for the shipping world, but I bet you couldn't guess what pops up when you search in the phrase evergreen on the gematria calculator. None other than Bearable Guy. So could this be just a coincidence? Or could someone inside Ripple behind the account that has been riddling about XRP be playing 5D chess with everyone? And the elite of this world are planting these riddles and symbology in movies for those with eyes to see and ears to hear to uncover. Because to bring this back to Ingersoll Lockwood, well, Thomas D. Lockwood and Ingersoll Lockwood and Nikola Tesla all lived in New York City at the same time. And it just so happened that Thomas Lockwood and Tesla worked on different electricity technologies, magnetism, you name it. And Ingersoll Lockwood just so happened to publish books about the Trumps, Barron and Don, the last president, chaos in New York surrounding it, Barron living in Castle Trump. Is this all really just a coincidence here? Plus, when you look up Ingersoll Lockwood on the gematria calculator, it comes up as Ripple Settlement, Level the Playing Field, Divine Enlightenment, Summary Judgment, Global Economic Collapse. So were these books really just fantasy that created these conspiracy theories? Was it prophecy, or was it something much deeper? Because if this is just a coincidence in your mind, then why does the Ingersoll Lockwood website have front and center saying that Space Force is hiring, which is the newest branch of the U.S. Armed Forces established in 2019, which was established by who? Donald Trump, as part of the National Defense Authorization Act, to create a dedicated military branch for space operations to counter threats and to ensure American superiority in space. And as you know, the Bearable Guy's most recent riddle is in space. So as you dive down the rabbit hole here into Wonderland, you start to see not only Ingersoll Lockwood's references here with the White Rabbit and the clock from Alice in Wonderland, to his inspiration to create the Ingersoll Trump watch, to put these clues up that a storm is coming on the website here that ties back to phrases like evergreen, Bearable Guy, Thomas Anderson, Neo from the Matrix, Donald Trump, ISO XRP, Nikola Tesla. Well, there's a whole nother story about Tesla as well, like how Benjamin Franklin screwed him over and got him blacklisted because Tesla wanted free energy and Franklin wanted money for it. And of course, the government is always going to be involved where there's groundbreaking technology and money to be made. So the question that you need to think about is, was Donald Trump raised in a household that was rampant with deep discussions in philosophy, freedom, and patriot talk? Because by the time a young Donald Trump was drilled into Ivy League commercial warfare training, he began to form his first concepts of reality. He was also informed about the cabal. But it was what his uncle, John G. Trump, etched into Donald's destiny that has to do with his time travel theory. Because could it be that Uncle Trump told him of a miraculous thing that came from the mind of a genius man who tamed electromagnetics and whose genius may be unparalleled to this day? There's no one else like him, other than someone like Elon Musk, because the public knows this to be a sad story where the genius who died penniless without a home or family in his final days, Nikola Tesla, he looked the part, right? Like an Einstein, but the Rothschilds ruined this man through their agent JP Morgan, or so they thought, because despite Tesla's immense technology and gifts to the world, they all used his kindness and they robbed him of his intellectual property. But Tesla had friends like John G. Trump and someone by the name of von de Graaff. This image right here you can see is the von de Graaff generator that was made in 1934. Now, does this remind you of anything here? And this man right here, Robert de Graaff, made Tesla's big vision a reality to deliver wireless electricity to every single man, woman, and child on the planet. And JP Morgan made it a vendetta to shut down Tesla when they realized his ultimate plan of free electricity, because we all know JP Morgan, he only owned 19% of his company. Who owned the other 81%? Well, it was the Rothschild family. So why was Tesla really shut down? Because you can't put a price tag on free electricity. So what does this have to do with Donald Trump and his uncle John G. Trump? Well, who was von Graaff's business partner? John G. Trump. And they formed what was called the High Voltage Engineering Corporation, the HVEC. And John G. Trump was an electrical engineer and professor at MIT. And right here, you can look up his biography on Wikipedia here. He developed high voltage generators for cancer treatment. He led radar deployment during World War II, and he organized one of the first venture-funded companies, a particle accelerator manufacturer. And he was the paternal uncle of President Donald Trump. and he earned his PhD in 1933 as Robert van de Graaf's first student, working on the design and installation of electrostatic generators. So to say that this guy was interested in electrical technology and inventions is an understatement here. And this is a precursor to Space Force here, but HVAC wasn't formed until after Tesla died in 1946, which was 1 year before the official beginning of the CIA in 1947. So John Trump for decades was approached by people of all sorts because he could make megavolt beams and ions and electron death rays. And the real question then becomes, what was Tesla working on in his final days? Well, could it be a way to prevent the dominance of any one nation over using his technology to be weaponized? Well, clearly there were some advanced military operations going on here. But here's where things get interesting. So when John G. Trump was asked to inspect Tesla's documents, well, what was his response? There's nothing to find here. But could it be that he took this technology to complete Tesla's time travel technology that Donald Trump has used to accomplish what he's accomplishing today? Well, I'll let you decide that for yourself. Now, if you haven't seen my video about the number 589 and how what's happening right now in the crypto space is all a setup, the White House just made it obvious, then go ahead and click that video right now. It's going to pop up on the screen. Check it out as we continue this series and we dive even deeper down the rabbit hole to discover exactly what's going on. So as always, if you want to see more content like this, make sure you give the video a like. Tap that right now. It takes 2 seconds. It'll allow the YouTube algorithm to push more content like this to you. And make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. And I will see you on the next video right now. You can either click it or it's just going to autoplay after this. And as always, you know what to do. Stay bullish.